Hello and welcome to this week's episode of So Fired. I'm Chelsea Toronto.
I'm Dr. Lindsay Regier.
And welcome. Every week on So Fired, we take life's shitty things and turn them into pretty things.
And we share all of our issues that we have, which is quite a lot. And we laugh a lot along the way.
So welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And today we're talking about bad advice that we got from our grandmas. So fired moments.
Yeah.
Should I go?
Yes, please.
Okay. This stems back to about 1 to 2 years ago, I believe, when you showed me your Instagram and you're like, Lindsay, why do I only have 200 followers?
You know exactly what day that was, for the record.
Was it July 4th?
Yes, it was.
So it's July 4th, 2 years ago. And she's like, Lindsay, I only have 200 followers. Like, ugh. I'm like, well, you don't do anything with it, so why wouldn't anyone follow you? I was so sassy. Didn't mean to come out so sassy.
That's the sassiest thing you've ever said to me my whole life.
Uh-huh.
You're like, well, you don't do anything with it. Why would you expect to have followers? It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
So I said that. Okay, fast forward to today. Well, actually, I guess a few days ago.
No. If I could jump in on your story here.
Okay.
How about, remember sitting in the office, in your office, where we first recorded, and me, like, confessing how vulnerable I felt and how much I don't care for Instagram.
Yes.
Just because I'm coming from a different perspective. And then, now, mind you, I don't really know what your So Fired moment is, but I'm just helping you tell a story. And then exactly April 1st, 2022, you encouraged me to do outfits of the day.
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
All right.
Okay, but good background story. So she's been doing outfits of the day. And then last week, 2 weeks ago, I guess, we went out.
Yes, it was last Friday night.
Mm-hmm. And then on Saturday, I came over. I was like, hey, let's go out. But I'm telling you, this pantless trend thing going out, Kendall Jenner, it's trending right now. Like, you should do an outfit of the day with the no pants trend. And you're like, no, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. So you did it. And you posted the reel. How many days ago?
Exactly 7 days later, or the following Saturday. So Saturdays. Today's
Okay.
Wednesday. It started Saturday.
Okay, so like 4 days ago.
Sure.
Okay, so she posted this reel 4 days ago. And it is like slow boil, blows up. And there's now like 510,000 views on it. She went from like 600.
It was like 500.
500 followers to like over 1,000. And I was like, what the fuck? I work so hard to be consistent on Instagram. I go like gain 5 followers at a time. Like, this isn't fucking fair. I'm so jealous. And like Chelsea's like, hey, send me this clip. I need this right now. Like, da-da-da-da. And I was like, ugh, this is so annoying. And I was just like in such a shitty, pissy mood. And why this is a So Fired moment is because there's a time to reflect back on myself and be like, all right, Lindsay, why are you being such a jealous little biatch right now? And like, she literally didn't do anything. She did exactly what you told her to do. And like, this is all my creation. So I was like, why would I feel like that? And I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of in a bad mood in general at the moment. So like, it has nothing to do with you at all. And I'm like, I'm not going to take it out on her. Like, that is totally not fair. And I reeled it back in. I told you, I was like, okay, this is how I was feeling. But now that I realize why I'm doing that, like, it's all good. So it was a moment of growth. And I'm super pumped for you. And I was like, okay, so now we have to monetize it. Like, how are we going to get this, and like clothing sponsors?
I'm so grateful for this because I was feeling really badly. And I was like, I just did what you told me to do.
Like, literally, exactly.
Like I did not want to put stay in front of the mirror and hold the camera and do a reel with no pants on. I mean, like,
And it's honestly now been the gift that keeps on giving because the comments are so freaking funny. Like, they're 99% are like, oh, you're beautiful, gorgeous, like, hilarious. And then it's like, nice hamburger. Like, what does that even mean?
I liked nice runaway stumps.
Where it's like, turn around. So I'm loving it.
So with that, I would like to thank all of my recent followers and all of you who have been so kind. I am humbled, and thank you very much for your kindness and generosity, and welcome to my life. So I too have notes, and I didn't intend
What's your so fired moment?
So I do want to like piggyback on what you were saying about this real thing. And it might seem trivial and I don't know. I'm trying to process it. Mm-hmm. So because yesterday I went skiing and so I felt grateful to be removed from my phone and not really watch this because I just need to process this out loud with you. And so sit tight.
It's like, I can't be mad at you because
I was probably trying to explain why you shouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
It feels like going to the beach and riding a wave, but not remembering getting into the water.
What a fascinating feeling.
Because you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And there's really I'm like, I guess this is exciting, but in no way am I better. Like my problems are still like kind of my problems. Mm-hmm. And I am feeling a little panicked. I'm feeling even more exposed. There's some tightness right here. I don't know what this is.
Are you feeling pressure to
like literally a heart, like it's hard to breathe. Because now what?
Right.
Now what? Like, what do I do now? Do I just keep doing these things? And like the whole page itself is being embraced. Mm-hmm. Here, I don't know if it's a so fired. I'm grateful that this is what I've been needing is to like share this with you so we could process this. Like, here you are. You just arrived. You wanted something. Now you got it. So like, you're like, holy shit. You're just like,
yeah, like, oh.
Okay. Remember on air we talked about like would we have the bandwidth?
Yes.
I think about that all the time.
Do we have the bandwidth? Do we have the infrastructure set up to handle it when it breaks and goes big? And we're at that moment, I feel like right now.
We are, yeah, this is a moment.
Yeah, this is a moment and we're like, now what?
And I'm so grateful. Isn't it funny that I'm going to say, Lindsay, every time you feel we should work on this together because this reminds me of our live event.
Oh.
And that social media, like audience, the audience attention, you kind of get a little angry with me. You're getting a little jealous more often than I'm hoping you will because we are a package deal, friend.
We are a package deal.
And you told me have your own brand.
I did. The only reason why I just have a lot of other shit happening.
No, I know,
in my
but
life.
even then,
it's just like literally just me feeling shitty about myself.
I know, but don't.
Yeah,
because I think your default is to get, but you check yourself so quickly.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, if I was really like a jealous wench, I would have been like, I would have been like on Instagram and being like, this is stupid.
No, you would have been like, this was my idea.
Yeah. But
I mean, like, because you were mad on the stage, and then I'm like, but we're together.
Yeah,
we are literally together.
It's just a whole new feeling for me.
The same, but like, we need to be around people that inspire us. We needed this.
Yeah, totally.
By the way, so getting to that point, this is what's been most challenging. Are the people around me, those surrounding me, whether it's online or here in my physical life, is their response to this. Mm-hmm. And the value that they're putting on something that I don't feel like it inherently changed any of the molecule structure in my body. Right. Like I'm like, oh, this is exciting to watch. Mm-hmm. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, get ready for it to like slow down.
Sure.
Right. So like my roommate is very, very excited. But I don't know if this is so fired, but this is definitely looking at it through like, 360 perspective. You and I have been doing the work with So Fired and our personal, because it all blends. We've been doing the work and we've been doing it despite, particularly my roommates' backhanded, snidey comments. Oh, you're always in front of the mirror. You and your selfies. Oh, you guys just prance around in your yoga pants.
You saw how my selfies were on my phone?
Oh my God.
Like, disgusted.
I mean, like, Jesus Christ. What do you think this is? But this is what we are trying, this is the commodity and the trades market that we're trying to be in. This is where we want to meet our audience, right? So this is what it takes. It takes doing the reels and planning and the content and like all of that front of facing on Instagram. And it felt vulnerable. And he's the voice in my head that was always bringing me down, feeling, and he echoes, and we'll get to this in today's topic, but the world's longest so fired moment, but just bear with me. So in which he just always made me feel shame. And now that motherfucker is like throwing me parties and asking for updates every 2-3 minutes. How many are we at? Because it's like there's 10,000.
He wants to come along for the ride.
Oh, yeah. Now you want to come along for the ride, motherfucker? Like, where were you when you were throwing shade and telling me that I was prancing around looking slutty and doing all the things? And I'm like, this is kind of an example of life.
Right.
I am thrilled that he is now wanting to be on this bus, because it was always a badass bus to begin with. You just now realize you wanted to be on this? Like, we were always the shit. You just figured it out. In our minds.
In our minds.
But you know what I mean? Like, why do we have to convince the people closest to us that we really are, we have something special? And it's not just So Fired, but people in general. Like, you know, it's like when you go out with a significant other and then somebody else, you get into a conversation. You've been telling your spouse, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no. You tell it to someone that they respect at a dinner party. And then that third party is really impressed with your thought. And then your spouse now looks at you like, oh, you're so smart and impressive. And you're like, motherfucker, this is the same person.
You're like, I've been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, but if you hear it from somebody else, so he had to see it from 500,000 people, that I'm the shit. And
so I guess maybe that's your So Fired moment. You're finally getting the respect.
No. You know, that's just it. That's just it. Here's my true so fired. I don't give a shit what he thinks. I do care what you think, so ideally you're on my side. But it's like with a lot of these people, I always had the faith and the belief in me and us and what we're doing, that it's certainly nice. I didn't need his validation or approval.
Right.
I find it challenging that now even the people that are like in followers and friends would DM me, and now they're coming at me just a little differently and a little more often. And it's like, now you want me?
Yeah. You know, I mean,
that's weird.
That's what happens when people see you like glowing up and see you doing big things. They want to be like, I was here the whole time and I've been supporting you the whole time. And like, it just gives hanger on vibes. And now you're just like, now I'm cool enough to hang out with, or like, now I'm cool enough to talk to you. And, you know, we see right through that.
Yeah, so, it was kind of a drag.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like so that's a weird feeling, right? But it's fun to be on this side of that feeling where finally I'm like, Josie Grossi gets to be like, nope, you don't earn it. And the nerdy guy in the back, yeah, you come here. Because you've been with me the whole time. So, you know, so it's like, yeah, that's my thought on that.
Wow. Who knew that Instagram could just stir up so many emotions?
Everyone and anyone who's ever committed suicide over Instagram.
I mean, usually it's more of like an anxiety-inducing thing or like a depression sort of thing that I get from Instagram. Not so much like, why is that happening?
Wait, what?
I don't usually get a jealous vibe from Instagram. So that was like a whole new thing.
You get jealous with us anytime you think, I'm going to take you along with me, right?
Obviously.
I'm only anywhere.
I'm taking you along with me. like we're only going together.
And that's what sets us apart, right? I mean, like,
it's just like, I don't know, there's just an inherent competitive vibe that comes out in me. And it's like, jeez, I can't control it. I'm just like, girl, like, back off. Like, get back in there. Like, I'm not even competing with you. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. It's just like a chain reaction. So I'm working through that so that doesn't become the chain reaction.
I think you're doing an excellent job as your personal in-house therapist. The first time you didn't recognize it.
Right.
And you were so kind to let me bring that up to you.
Yeah.
And you received it so graciously that it made me feel like safe that I could tell you anything. and that it actually demonstrated how much you love us because how well you have recently had, or you have examples of when you approach somebody with someone you love with something very heavy that it might not go over well, and how graciously they respond to it.
Yeah.
It like cracks you open and you feel so like, thank you. Like, I just wanted to say this. And it's like, I don't, do you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So for you to like, for me to say this, cause it felt like a little bit of hurt. And I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And that's a little bit of a trigger for me because I used to get in trouble a lot at home for not doing anything. And I was like, I literally didn't do anything. Like, why? And my father would be like, go into the closet. And my mom had a walk-in closet too. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Full circle.
Generation goals.
Back in the closet again.
Where my father would say, go to your mom and just apologize. I was like, this is a fight between two.
Like,
I literally didn't do anything. Why do I have to? And he's like, just go in there. And again, this feels like a childhood trigger where I'm like, I would have worn pants. So now
I told you not to. So you're like, what is a girl to do? Like, so I gotta apologize.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I thought your idea was a good one. My bad. For making you look good.
See, like, none of this sounds stupid.
No, but here's what long point is, thank you for allowing, you're picking it up faster.
I'm picking up much faster.
Your emotional IQ on this particular issue, you'll be like, oh, okay, yep.
I'm
that's
like, okay.
And, and I found myself thinking, how would I feel if it was, I am used to being overshadowed. And I think that's the problem. It's not very often that we are like even Steven. It's usually like you and I'm just kind of like following behind you as we do.
But then I was like, wait, we're like even Steven. So
thank you.
It's nice
like, that you think that we're finally even Steven.
Like, so why am I being like, see, I don't know.
That's okay. I don't know. Because I feel like I intentionally try and proverbially walk a couple steps behind you.
Oh, well, you don't have to do that.
Because you know how I just have such presence. And I'm always trying to like, am I always just going to be like front facing? Okay, I know. I didn't have a word for what I just did, but it was like, am I always going to be, if I lived as present as I feel like I could, I feel like it's just a lot of energy and a big personality.
Well, what's wrong with that? I think, why don't you just be you? And but it's like, then it's not so much like.
You know what you look like from where I can see you? You look like those filters that have little puppy dog ears.
I love those filters.
Oh my God. Because this, don't move your head, right? So this thing makes it look like. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, if you were just being you the whole time, then it wouldn't be such a shock to my system.
It's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, just be you, and then it wouldn't be happening. No, but I'm encouraging you to.
Well, you are literally the reason I do these things.
Yeah, so keep going.
Well, just keep telling me what to do.
Done.
Remember, I always say that. I frequently say, if you just tell me what to do, I'll do it. Okay, I do have a question though.
Okay.
So now, I kind of know the way I will interact. It will be like, when interacting with your, because here's the one feeling I'm not doing very well describing is, I told you about the beach and going to the beach. It just feels like my world has expanded. I don't know them, but the limits of my life feel like the walls have been pushed out. And it just feels, if I didn't already feel a little overwhelmed by having a lot of new friends and like not showing up for them, now I have like what feels like an audience behind me present all the time. It's like a fourth wall of people in your life. So you go to, you do all the things, but then in the back of your mind, they're still present and they don't necessarily have a face. Sure, they have comments, but you know what I mean? So it's like, how do you engage with them? Like, what's the approach? Is it like, do you drop the fourth wall and you're like, okay, guys, blah. Or are you just like, so it's like figuring out the creative approach, and it's just
I would say, I mean, okay, these are just followers on Instagram that can come and go and can be fickle AF. And whatever you do, you might do the exact same thing and they might hate it and be like, no, I'm never watching her stuff again, or they could love it. So like all these new people that are now like expanding and in your audience, I think you can't really put much weight into what they're thinking or saying, because there's like the true people in your community that really are invested in you and care about what you do and what you post. And then these new people that are here, I don't think they're as invested. So
right. Or they're invested for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they're invested for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So it's just like you keep doing you, and the people keep on coming, and the ones who are like meant to be there in your community and to like grow with you, they'll stick with you.
All right. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just now it's a little exhausting.
So just think about it as, okay, yes, you have like all these new followers and all these new views, but just think about it as you're still sharing with like your close friends.
Okay. So what you were describing sounds like now you're just playing with a bigger risk of heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Great. I'm so glad you took me to this dance. I'm excited.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that was a lot that we unpacked.
Yeah.
It was a very productive So-Fired moment.
That was a very productive So-Fired therapy session with all of our issues.
Okay. Oh, speaking of issues, I have some.
Okay.
Yay.
Let me know.
Okay, ready? 2 issues that I have this week. We already talked about one. Like, you don't want me till everybody else does.
Okay.
I also have an issue with our obsession with water bottles.
Oh. Okay. Well, tell me more.
All right. Growing up as a child of the 80s and 90s, I don't remember drinking water. Like y'all drink water. No. We had water fountains. I actually physically remember the introduction of plastic water bottles into my existence. So, I mean, like, that's wild, right? So now you can't even go for a walk around Wash Park without water.
Oh, no.
You're afraid. You're carrying it with your 2 fingers.
I'm afraid I'm going to get dehydrated on this mile walk around the park. But also, okay.
Wait.
Is it a Colorado thing or is this a national thing?
Oh, I don't know. I can't speak to. I don't know.
Or like an LA, Colorado.
All I can speak for is Colorado. I really don't. I haven't made that much. I look forward to going to California soon, in which I will keep my eyes peeled. But what I can say is you have your little children obsessed. You've conditioned them to be so obsessed with these plastic bottles. First of all, you shouldn't be. Plastic's not great.
It's not, but I swear water tastes better out of a plastic bottle.
I've come to enjoy, and I know the flavor in which I will enjoy out of this particular plastic versus this plastic.
Yeah.
I don't know what's that your favorite way to receive water?
Mm-hmm. So that's why I love my Hydro jug, because it's plastic. And then I also love the Fiji water bottles.
Yeah.
Those are tasty, but you know those like 99-cent or like 50-cent water bottles? That's disgusting.
The ones you can crush with your hands. Yeah.
That is like my last resort of water.
Yeah, no doubt. That's like, I'm really thirsty. That's like, I forgot my water bottle. Those you stuff in the sock and you let your dogs chew on them and make those crunchy noises. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and the Camelback little nozzle thing. That's a good water receptacle. I guess that's rubber.
No, but however you choose to get your water. I actually am addicted to the way I drink. It's out of a very cold metal system, but like a rubber straw. I like it ice cold.
I like room temperature.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
So that is my obsession. Like, and just people, the panic you can feel is what is motivating them to keep these water bottles in their hands at all time. And they're little children. And it's like, oh my God, did you need water? And they're like, they just sneezed. I mean, like, they don't need water.
Actually, and it's a great accessory, like those Essentia water bottles.
Which ones are those?
The ones with like the black and the Red Cross, or like the
I do love that.
I like logo. Those are just like really cute.
How are those so sexy?
I don't know,
but they are.
Yeah, like I
ski racks. Yeah. Ski racks are sexy. I want a ski rack real bad.
That wouldn't look good on your car.
No, it wouldn't. But I really want one.
But
I'm over it. I'm not going to get one. I've accepted the fact.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's my issue of the week. Now,
I don't really have an issue, but before we get to our topic, I do have a little ad break for you.
Oh, I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Yeah. Okay, so today's episode is brought to you by Isogenics.
Oh.
Yeah. So spring break is right around the corner, And that means that we're coming out of our hibernation, time to throw those swimsuits on, time to reset from eating cookies for breakfast to maybe, switching to something more nutritious. So what I've been doing and why I've been looking super snatched the past week.
Oh my gosh, you've never looked skinnier.
Yeah. I'm doing the 30-day reset. So
I think I need to do this.
I'm 1 week in, and you guys,
honest to God, I've never seen you look thinner.
Thank you.
If that's at all possible.
Which
makes me look bigger, so now I am.
No, and I was like, well, let's wear matching turtlenecks today, too.
Oh, you size comparison.
Okay, so 30-day reset, super duper simple, sustainable system. It does make you look super snatched. You're fighting your sugar cravings. I'm not craving cookies anymore. Increase your lean muscle mass. It improves your nutrition, less stress, better sleep. I'm so energized, and I was on a cleanse day yesterday, which was liquids and a couple snacks, and I've never felt better. So that was wild. So there's tasty shakes, tasty snacks, a cleansing juice, adaptogen elixirs, all meant to detox your body, and it's super easy to follow and has flexibility. You can still have a mocktail on this or a cookie if you choose to. Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah. It's amazing. So if you guys are ready to reset with us, use the link in the show notes for 20% off your 30-day reset. And you'll feel more energized, less fluffy, and we'll all be super snatched for spring break.
Cool. All right. So this week we are talking about
bad advice from our grandmas.
Yay. Did you ever receive bad advice from your grandmother?
I was trying to think back to my grandmother, and not to be like mopey sad sack over here, but my grandma died when I was 16 or 17, I think. And then my other grandma died maybe when I was in college, but she had dementia, so she didn't really know me. My other grandma, though, got me into Wheel of Fortune, which is awesome. We played Bunko. She let me watch cable because we didn't have cable at our house when I was younger.
Oh.
So
you have fond memories.
Yeah, fond memories. And she always gave me money every time I went to her house.
Is that all it takes?
That's all it takes. I'm yours for life. You want to give me $10 for gas when I get there?
Oh.
Yeah.
As an adult person, she gave you... Oh, she was a smart grandma.
She was a smart grandma.
She's like, I know how to get my teenage granddaughter over here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Because gas was cheaper then.
Gas was cheaper then. $10 is a whole tank of gas.
Oh my God. $50 for half a tank.
Oh. It hurts.
Oh, it hurts.
I know.
Anyway. Okay. So your grandma, did she give you bad advice?
Not particularly.
Did your mom give you bad advice?
I feel like my mom doesn't really have any good advice.
This is going to be a sweet episode.
Okay. I was trying to think of advice that my mom gives me or my grandma gives me. And I probably am just blocking out everything my mom says because I'm like, no, this is stupid. So I guess if bad advice from my mom.
Oh, man.
No, she doesn't really give advice. She's more of just Lindsay, why are you doing that?
Okay. I was watching a video of you guys playing instruments. I got a real chuckle out of that. All right. Well, I think what we're trying to get at is old stories or principles or life advice that you may have heard over the years, whether it be from your grandmother or your mother or just conventional wisdom that you've heard over the from previous generations.
Oh, I know. This is, I guess, the only reoccurring thing that I hear from my mom is well, why don't you just work more hours at your office if you want to make more money? I'm because that's not exactly how that works all the time. There's more than one way to make money. And she's no, why don't you just do this and then you'll make more money?
Right. No. It's funny how different generations, particularly our parents or boomers and now millennials, our lives are so inherently different because of media and various ways in which we now make money. There's so many different streams.
Right.
We really are at more of an advantage. And that's how much harder we're having to work, is that we have more accessibility to making money than they ever did, yet we're still broker than they are.
Exactly. And I saw this thing on Instagram. It's millennials are the first generation where we're not oh, we got a job at 20 years old and we're going to stay there for the next 40 years until we retire. We're making our own way. And no one really knows the blueprint for that way. So we're all kind of figuring it out as it goes.
So not only are we having to figure it out as it goes, now we have to educate people along the way, as if it's not hard enough. This is okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person, Mom, for
this is what people do
being
now.
a hostess and following my life's passion of being a podcaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not a failure. Right. So there's a number of other things. Like, I remember my grandmother saying, like, I remember the argument being where my response was, I don't want to have to depend on a man. And she said, what, are you, a lesbian?
Oh.
I was like,
wow.
17.
Progressive grandma.
I was 17.
Wow.
Those are fairly formative years, especially to have an argument with your grandmother. I mean, like, I just don't feel like she needed to come back with that.
yeah, it's
still a little fresh.
Been like, yeah, you go, girl. Like,
right.
You don't need a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Joke's on me. But, you know, it's like,
I would say, you know how the smile thing keeps on coming up all the time? People telling us to smile.
Yeah.
I would always like pout in photos because I didn't want to have my photo taken. They're like, smile more. So
that's why you can identify that.
Yeah, it's just like ingrained from the time. I feel like I remember it when I was like 4, 5, 6.
I'm going to start a Smilegate, #Smilegate.
Yeah.
Because what I've done, and I've done it in a different, and I may release all of these. I took a slow-mo photo of me frowning to me smiling and saying both are beautiful.
Oh, that's cute.
#Smilegate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the same face, guys. It's the same face. It's all pretty.
It's all the same.
Man, I'm going to ask our listeners, our followers, our community to send me their both is beautiful video. Mm-hmm. So you can see kind of like real time or like slow-mo. I don't know. Is it time lapse? It's not a time lapse. It's a slow-mo where you see like the muscles and how they work and then how so it's still the same thing. And let's normalize pretty, whatever way your smile is.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a movement.
Oh, now I did remember something that my mom gave me advice on. Okay. Well, not quite advice, but like a saying that I heard all the time because I remember at home all like the stuff I wanted to get out of the countertop or like the cabinet. I had to climb up on the countertop, stand up, get up there, reach for like a glass or something. And my mom's like, you're just always marching to the beat of your own drum. She's just like always doing her own thing. And like sometimes the tone was like, oh, that's cute. And sometimes it was like, again, like, can you just do anything without, like, do you have to be so independent all the time and like do your own thing all the time? So I remember that. Hearing that all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's why you must be fearless. That's why you're fearless.
Came to fruition. I'm like, yes, I must do my own thing all the time.
That's kind of a neat, like, life mantra.
Yeah.
I remember my mom saying, like, stop being so self-absorbed. And, like, looking in the mirror and taking pictures.
I think you have so many memories because, like, you and your mom talk a lot. She has a lot of things to say.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
And I was just like not hearing any of it. I'm like,
you know, you can tell that the women in my life are they're verbally very accomplished and they carry heavy weight with their words and they're always little zingers. Mm-hmm. And that for me is kind of why I try I try and go the opposite of that where I'm always like soft and accepting and like I always feel like I'm catching people's like verbal footballs. Mm. Instead of like trying to spike it back into their face and be like, pow, because one of my skill sets is, and I can like verbally jab with you.
Oh yeah,
I can spar. I think the word I can spar verbally with you better than most because I've been raised in a very like that was the atmosphere. It was like a verbal boxing match in the family at all times, and then whoever like took the cheap shot and hit below the belt, it was like, you know, you just ruined the party. It's over.
Yeah.
And then go make your mom. Anyway, my mom also told me, and this is one I also remember very distinctly, clothes are a waste of money.
Oh. You showed hers. Like, look at this closet full of clothes.
500,000 later.
Okay, but that doesn't even make sense for your mom to say because she likes fashion and she likes clothes. She works at a clothing store.
I know.
So, like, what?
It must have been something she heard.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Actually,
I mean, the irony of that comment, right?
My mom would be like, life isn't a fashion show. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, it is.
It literally
everything is a fashion show.
We're literally building our lives around fashion.
Yeah. So yeah, I heard that one a lot.
That's funny. I'm trying to think.
I also, this isn't like Oh, also like tattoos. It was like, if you ever get a tattoo, like no one's going to hire you. You'll never get a job. Like it's trashy.
Yep.
Yeah. If you ever smoke a cigarette, you're kicked out of our house forever. Don't even think about coming back in. Yeah. They're like, you're trash.
Yep. Okay. So here are some of the other ones. Obviously, long-term jobs. Your job should the one job you have should last you a lifetime. And if you change jobs, or even worse, change careers once in a lifetime, that was like unheard of, right? The doctors that then became like, or the lawyers that became doctors, or vice versa. And you're like, oh my God, what? They became both? It's incredible.
Also, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
You have to get a degree.
You have to get married.
And you have to get married. And you
kids.
have to... kids. You have to have kids. And you have to either be a doctor, a lawyer, or some kind of like business.
Something that they understand.
Yeah.
Like, be something like I understand.
The 3 options. Yeah, like a doctor, a lawyer, I like something in business, or like.
What about a teacher?
No. Never. I think they were like, you would be a terrible teacher, so they never told me that.
My mom, I was lost as a younger person, so and I'm grateful that she like was like, I'm gonna steer this ship. So she just needs to have skills so she can have a job. A lot of this hurts my heart, but she was like, you're gonna be a dental hygienist.
You're like, okay,
It was very hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I lasted like the full semester. It was a lot of science.
It's a lot of science.
Why does there need to be so much science?
There's a lot going on in the mouth.
But honestly, like, do you not know me? Like, being in a place, maybe I didn't even know myself, so I'm not going to blame her, but like being in a dentist's office wearing scrubs with no windows in people's mouths all day.
Ew. I mean,
ew.
It's a good living if you're doing that.
I'm just talking about me personally.
Yeah. I know.
Could you see me doing it? I
No.
would stab myself in the eye with that scalpel thing,
and that like plaque thing being
and then like, well, how's that like sucky thing go?
Oh yeah.
God, anyway, so look, I appreciate that, and then I said, I'm not much better though. Actually, I said, no, I got this. I want to be a social worker. And I just remember being like, my father was so disappointed. Well, are you guys happy now? No. Okay.
This is one that I got from our listeners. Drink white pine needle tea to prevent scurvy and to get over colds faster.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's some good grandma advice.
Well, that's a nice one. They have better family than we do.
Also, some good grandma advice is that you stick your finger in some whiskey and then you like put it around your gums.
Oh, yeah, for babies.
For babies.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Would I still
do that? People do that anymore.
They load them up with
frowned
chemicals.
upon, apparently.
Let's see. My mom, if you had a sore throat, gargle with salt water, warm salt water.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, this is good advice from my mom. Like, always brush your teeth before going to bed. Like, no matter what, brush your teeth. I'd be sleeping, fall asleep on the couch. She would wake me up. She would like drag me to the bathroom. I would sit on the toilet and like open up my mouth, and she would brush my teeth.
I didn't see that coming. Oh my God. You're worse. I could just feel like holding the forehead up.
I would like, how I sleep with my mouth like this, like
yeah, wide open.
That's what I would do.
Slack jaw with your. Really? Oh my God.
I know.
Do you brush your teeth before you go to bed?
Yes, every night.
Yeah, I'll start.
Good. I got Austin on that habit of brushing his teeth every night.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm just, I'm not emotionally invested until you ask me to do so.
So I think that's great advice that everyone should take on.
Here's some advice I never received. I received no advice on the following subjects: money,
Same,
healthy relationships, i.e. marriage,
same,
what I want to do with my future,
same. Mine was more like all of the above, and then with my future, they're like, well, maybe you should just go to like community college, and then you'll figure it out from there. And I was like, ew, I'd rather
yeah. Remember how
die.
much we hated, the thought of community
I'm like,
college.
ew, because then I have to live here.
I'm thriving out of spite.
If you know what,
it's a merch. It's something we're also going to sell.
The merch is coming. Thriving out of spite.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't realize how similar our childhoods were.
I know. And like also with the money thing, it's like, what do you think? Money grows on trees? Like, bleh. What?
I feel like we never even talked about it. And then they're like, why are you so bad with money? I don't know, because you didn't really teach me how to do it. Are we blaming them? No, but these are funny anecdotes.
Yeah. It's just like people, I have friends that know so much more about money and like what they want to do with their life and all these things. I'm like, how do you know that? They're like, oh, like my mom told me this, or like my parents told me that. I was like, huh, we had very different upbringings.
I got shortchanged on like no, it's fine.
Yeah, or like parents now. I'm like, you tell your kids all these things, like, wow.
Like what?
They are like how to do their money, how to be a proper gentleman on dates.
Oh,
and, like,
have you seen that?
And like
that
classes
mom?
in school, or even like prepping kids of like, this is how you like go on a date, or like this is like how you show up to an interview. This is how you do this, and like they're getting an actual real life experience.
We should do that. We should do a series on where we teach. How would we have wanted to be? We are each other's own adult parents.
Yep.
And we're like teaching our younger version selves.
Yes. Actually, and it's always ingrained in me to have really good manners. Say please and thank you, and put your napkin on your lap.
Oh, is that where that comes from?
Yep. And always be like really polite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I can say you've mastered that.
That is in my DNA now.
That is. I don't know what my DNA is. Wearing red lipstick?
Yeah. That's your motherly advice that
has
gone on and on.
Yeah, that's a good one. That if you need to brighten up your face, throw on some red lipstick. Mm-hmm. It really brightens it up. I imagine only if that is your... Okay, I walk that back. That doesn't apply for everyone. It works for me because of my color palette and my skin tones.
Yeah.
So that might backfire for other people who are like more neutral. Like, but that's what helped me.
Yeah. Never leave the house without a lip on.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And get dressed up. Always. Black is common. It's a common color. I remember she used to tell me, like, no, don't wear black.
It's common.
Yeah.
What are you, a commoner?
That's exactly what she was.
You peasant?
Exactly.
Peasant wearing black?
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
But black is super chic.
I think she knew I could get away with color, so why not?
Oh.
So despite the fact when she was like, I know, she said
what a walking contradiction. She's like, clothes are stupid. You don't need them. But don't wear black, but wear color.
Maybe she didn't know.
I think that goes to prove that no one knows what they're talking about ever, and you can change your mind every day.
Stop listening to them. Don't listen. Just do your best. What else did she tell me? I know that you can put masking tape on your shoes to make them less slippery.
But doesn't it seem like that makes sense?
Somehow there's a little bit of grit. I know I'm going to remember
you should probably sand your heels at the bottom if you want more grit.
Yeah, you score it like you do with your ballet shoes. You could do that. I'm trying to think of all the other advice things. Like I'm going to remember a ton more after this is over, but
I think those are good.
Those are good. Oh, wash your teeth with baking soda to keep them white. And swish it with hydrogen peroxide.
Oof. Hydrogen peroxide? That's like a volcano explosion in your mouth.
It's a quick swish. You're not gargling
it.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Your mouth?
No.
Isn't that how they make the volcanoes erupt in like the science class projects? Baking soda?
I think you need a lot more. We're talking peroxide?
Like or is it baking soda and vinegar that goes like...
I think it's vinegar.
Oh, okay. Ooh, hydrogen peroxide in your mouth. That sounds miserable. Huh. Okay. Or just brush your teeth every night and then get them whitened every day.
Today was about dental hygiene. I was a hygienist. We're going to wash our teeth. We're going to wash our teeth. Brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. Never go to bed without brushing your teeth.
Okay.
That's my advice to leave everyone with.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
Great. Well, what a fun one.
I know. God, I feel like we really worked through some issues today.
It does feel it was productive.
Yeah. So
I do feel better. Oh, it brought us closer together, if that's at all possible.
Yeah. So I think the takeaway is that it's worth having some good conversations with your friends and take a grain of salt with any advice that you get from anyone. Anyone.
Literally anybody.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you share this episode with your bestie. And also, if you have some more advice from your grandma, from your mom, from
or
you.
Or
for us.
We listen.
Yeah. Send it our way. We listen to everything. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The stories and statements expressed herein are experiences and opinions. They may not represent the views of the production studio or the hosts. If you disagree with our content, that's okay. No podcast is perfect for everyone.